projection. So if you look at this chart here, all these squiggles show how estimates typically kind of progress from, let's say, 6 to 9 months before earnings season starts, right up to that vertical line, which is the beginning of earnings season. And these lines all represent growth rates or expected growth rates. So what typically happens is that earnings estimates fall into the beginning of earnings season because companies are guiding estimates lower. And a cynical interpretation is that they're guiding them lower so that these companies can then beat the estimates and look really good. But this time around, that black line shows that the number has been flatlining for months. And the reason is that companies are not providing guidance because, of course, this is COVID. It's 2020, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. So companies have been pretty tight-lipped in terms of providing earnings guidance to the analysts who are essentially rating these companies. So as a result, that line has been flat for months, and because the economy has actually been recovering. You look at GDP, you look at other indicators, retail sales, housing starts, they've all followed a pretty steep recovery line so far, but the earnings lines have not followed suit because, again, if you're an analyst and you're not getting guidance, you really don't have much to change in your estimate. So the second quarter estimate really jumped, right? It started at minus 46% growth and it ended up at minus 30%, which is still minus 30%. 16 percentage points better than the beginning of last quarter's earnings season. And so far, we started at minus 21% just last week, and we're at minus 19% as of now, and probably that line will continue to improve. So the numbers are doing what I figured they would have done, which is to show that the bottom, that the recovery is on track, and then really it's a matter of is the recovery going to unfold as analysts are now expecting, and that is of course is a broader question about the economy and COVID and second waves and vaccines and all of those things. But so far the earnings trajectory looks good.
Great, thank you for that. We'll keep our eye on that certainly and revisit this chart, and I'll probably ask you a similar question over the next several weeks as the season continues to unfold. Before I ask my next question, though, just a quick note to our viewers. We're going to start talking about the upcoming election. And we're not at all taking a position on any party, any politician, or any policies. We're talking about the markets and how they have historically reacted during a presidential election cycle and how they might react during this one. So, Jurrien, back to you. I know you've been keeping close watch on the market's pre-election expectations, the blue lines on this chart that you've created showing both the likelihood of President Trump's re-election and the likelihood of a GOP-controlled Senate. So maybe just explain how this has evolved since we last spoke last week.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that the markets have been very quiet in a way for the last couple of weeks, and it looks like, and again, I'm no political expert, none of us are, of course, but it looks to me like the market has basically put in its expectations, and that is that we could have a blue wave, if you will, coming in 2 weeks with the Democrats taking over the White House as well as the Senate. And again, who knows if that